202.
Item 202, selection of a council president. This item is not subject to the mayor's veto. We do have...
Everyone, please leave the chambers quietly. We're still in session.
We do have a number of public speakers. Folks will be limited to 2 minutes per speaker. And if you're...
Clerk, please proceed on the public testimony.
I will proceed. Our first speaker in opposition is Bob Kazuski. Mr. Kazuski, as he's coming forward, he'll have 2 minutes, then we'll turn to speakers in favor, beginning with Hud Collins, followed by Martha Welch.
The chair of this council is an important position. This is the people's chamber. We don't have this access to the mayor, at least not anymore. This is the highest platform where the people can speak. Chairman Cole, in general, you have done a fair job of moderating these discussions, with the exception of 3 areas that I'd like to bring out. First, there is no provision for the people to bring items to this agenda. There was a provision in the city charter, but it was removed by this council. So we have no way to bring things to this council, and I would ask that you provide a conduit, so if people want things put to this agenda, they could come to you and you would put it on the agenda, because the people deserve to have a right to have something acted on, not just to speak a non-agenda. Number 2, you have refused to allow public comment before proclamations and ceremonial items. That's inappropriate. It's a violation of the Brown Act, and I believe it will cost this city money, and I would ask you to fix that. Finally, the last time we were in this chamber, you cut off my presentation, my video, before it was finished. It was a painful video, but it was only 2 minutes long. This council could not stand to watch that video for even 2 minutes. It was so horrific what goes on at that glider port, and you terminated my presentation, again against the Brown Act, and refused to watch it. It was only 2 minutes, but I've been living with that for 10 years. It is inappropriate for the chairperson to interrupt the public when we are speaking. With those thoughts in mind, I'd like to ask any council member who's considering to run for this position to consider these concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Turning to speakers in favor, Hud Collins will be followed by Martha Welch, followed by Gretchen Newsom, and please come forward when you're called. You'll have 2 minutes apiece.
Afternoon, Council President. I would request respectfully that I allow to use my time after the election.
The time for the public.
I'd like to speak after somebody is selected.
You would have to speak now, and your chance is now, sir.
It makes no sense. I've always nominated people for your position. I'd like to see who, in fact, is selected so I can speak after that.
Okay, now, I'm going to quote the
Is it
rules
yes
council.
or no, ma'am? Simple.
No, sir. If anyone asks what process we follow to select the council president for all discussion items that come before the council follow rules of Council 2.10, procedure for debate, which sets the standard guidelines that shall be used in debating
a yes or a no,
for
ma'am?
the council. Historically, the procedure for debate for the selection of the council president has always been handled at the direction of the chair of the meeting, and there have been different ways it has been handled over the years. This year, we are following the standard procedure for debate that is described by Rule 2.10. This is the same procedure we follow for every other discussion item before the council, which is introduction of item by the clerk, optional staff report, public testimony, council member questions and comments, motion, second, vote.
Is that a
and clerk
yes or
announces
no,
the
ma'am?
results of the vote.
Very
And you
simple.
I just read you what
I
we're
don't
going
care
to
what
do.
that is. I asked to speak after.
No, sir. We're
Thank you.
going by the rules,
Now,
2.10.
on the back of the packet that I gave, there's 7 or 8 considerations. The first one is that you have an illegal government. You haven't taken that up. The second is we're in a financial crisis. You haven't taken that up, nor anybody in this council. The third is the fact that Councilman Kate is a traitor, and I've asked for the council to put this on the docket. You have not done that. Anyway, there's 7 things on the back of my handout that I've asked this council to take up. You haven't done that. It was a handout given to me before about next week's agenda. You have no business moving something to Wednesday, December 13th. It's the first day of Hanukkah, and if you're going to take Christmas off, you should take Hanukkah off. It's a religious discrimination by having a session next Wednesday. So let me say this, whoever is elected, please look at the back of my packet and put them on the docket. You haven't acted properly for the citizens.
Thank you. Martha,
Thank you.
Martha Welch, followed by Gretchen Newsom, followed by Matthew Kostrinsky.
Martha Welch, I know we have Democrats rule this council. I hope we get a Democrat. I'm putting David Albert on my calendar right now. He's been, questions I liked that, what he's doing right now, and I hope you vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Gretchen Newsom, followed by Matthew Kostrinsky, followed by Keith Maddox.
Thank you. Gretchen Newsom on behalf of IBW 569 and our 3,400 electricians and working families of San Diego and Imperial Counties, here in support of nominating Council President Myrtle Cole to continue your presidency, and also in support of pursuing a progressive agenda for our communities so that we can go and address affordable housing, combat climate change, and develop local jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Matthew Kostrinsky, followed by Keith Maddox, followed by Christopher Rice Wilson.
Hi, my name is Matt Kostrinsky. I'm here to represent UDW, the Home Care Providers Union. We represent around 22,000 working families here in this area that care for seniors and children that are disabled and need care. We actually have several of our members here. Unfortunately, since the timeliness, some of them had to go back to their clients. They had to leave, but they were here to support what UDW does, and they asked that the council support Myrtle Cole to be reappointed as council president. I have personally known Myrtle both as a staff member when she worked here on the floor, also with UDW as a coworker, and now as council president. And we believe at UDW, she's been a fighter for working families, both on and off the city council. We'd like to see that continue. She has shown that when you work with her on facts and figures, we're able to get in the trenches, roll up her sleeves, and get work done for families. She's a proven fighter, and we appreciate that. We hope that the council will renominate her and that she will be council president for this next term. Thank you.
Thank you. Keith Maddox is the next speaker, followed by Christopher Rice Wilson, followed by Andrew Amareo, and Keith Maddox has time seated by Laura Fink for a total of 4 minutes.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Keith Maddox with the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council. San Diego faces significant challenges and opportunities as we head into 2018, and we need Council President Myrtle Cole's leadership as we face them. We must address the affordable housing and homeless crisis as it impacts every San Diegan, from the families on the street to those struggling to pay their rent. We need to drive economic development that sustains and grows middle-class jobs while affording economic opportunity every community in San Diego. Myrtle understands these issues. She spent her lifetime fighting for them in her underserved district to across the greater San Diego region in her work. And finally, Myrtle understands the challenging legislative process within City Hall, working for 3 former council members prior to her election. That's the kind of leadership that we need as council president. The City Council makes decisions that impact these issues every day, and Council President Cole has proven to be an effective leader that San Diego can count on to address the challenges and harness the opportunities in the future. The San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council, representing more than 120,000 workers, would encourage all the council members to re-elect Myrtle to a second term. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher Rice Wilson is the next speaker. Is Mr. Rice Wilson? No, then Andrew Amareo, who will be followed by Carol Kim, who will be followed by Tom Lemon.
Good afternoon, council members. On behalf of Alliance San Diego Community Empowerment Organization, representing more than 90,000 voters in the city of San Diego, in reflecting on the past year of governance in San Diego, we would be remiss if we did not point out it has been a year of community and change at the city council. No longer do the interests of big businesses and downtown developers drown out the voice of the community. The people have gained more access and input in the decisions being made downtown, in part because the council has created more opportunity to hear from the people on the issues that matter. San Diego has fully implemented a strong mayor form of government, and we witnessed the mayor exercising his authority almost daily, but also a strong council form of government. And we have seen the council step up and independently and act independently, conducting oversight and providing checks and balances. While it has been a team effort, we applaud Council President Myrtle Cole for her initiative and decisiveness in leading the council over the last year. And we thank the Council President for her support in making sure the community is heard and considered on council matters across the board. Alliance San Diego supports Councilmember Myrtle Cole for 2018 Council President, and we look forward to working with her in that capacity if she is so elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol Kim, followed by Tom Lemon, followed by Joanna Hester.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Carol Kim, and I'm the political director of the San Diego County Building and Construction Trades Council, representing 35,000 construction workers in the county of San Diego. I'm here to basically thank you, President Cole, for your service this past year, for really leading our city council in making, as many of my speakers preceding me have pointed out, some real progressive changes in the way we respond to our communities, in the way we hear people's concerns, and the way we actually reply and react to the things that are happening in the larger nation and region as a whole. So I want to encourage all of you I want to first thank all of you for all the work you've done under Myrtle's leadership, and also encourage all of you to re-elect Myrtle Cole to another term as the council president in order to, again, as my colleague Gretchen Newsom at IBW 569 pointed out so eloquently and simply, to create opportunities for workers and working families, to make sure that we're combating the major crises in our San Diego communities, including affordable housing, climate change, and some of the other concerns that are always at the ready, and making sure that we have real jobs that can support our residents and community members. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tom Lemon, followed by Joanna Hester, followed by Rick Bates.
Tom Lemon, San Diego Building Trades. Seems I've done this a few times in the past, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so successfully. I'm here to encourage and support a vote for the current council president, Myrtle Cole. Myrtle will tell you probably that I have been one of the hardest on her over her term, but I have seen the bigger picture over time, and I do appreciate the work that you do, not only for my brothers and sisters in the labor movement, but for the communities in San Diego you serve. Thank you.
Thank you. Joanna Hester. Then Rick Bates, please come forward. Rick Bates, if you want to speak, you'll have 2 minutes. And then Murtaza Baksamusa has submitted a speaker slip in favor but did not wish to speak.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Joanna Hester. My name's Rick Bates. I'm with Unite Here Local 30. We're part of we represent the hotel workers throughout San Diego County. And I'd like to express our support for our current council president, Myrtle Cole, to continue as such. We feel that Myrtle Cole is uniquely qualified in a number of ways. One, in her ability to work across party lines, as well as the experience that she actually has in representing all of San Diego's residents, including those in underserved communities. As council president, one of the roles, as we all know, is overseeing our council committees. Our council committees are vital, to meaningful governance in San Diego, and we feel that she will see to it that those committees are operate in such a way as to represent everybody. And so, Myrtle Cole, you have our support at Unite Here Local 30. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the public testimony on this item.
Thank you. Turning to council member questions and comments. Council member Bree.
Great. Well, last year I was honored to second the nomination of Myrtle to be our council president, and this year I'm honored to nominate you formally to be our council president for the next year. You have led us with integrity and always with the best interests of the entire city in mind. You have focused us rightfully on housing and homeless, creating the Select Committee on Homelessness. When we've had meetings that could have been contentious, you have always behaved with decorum and treated everyone with equal respect. Further, you've had an excellent relationship, I believe, with every member of the council and with the city clerk, and our meetings have run smoothly. I'm honored to support you to be our next president.
Thank you. Councilmember Ward.
Thank you, Council President, and I'm honored to second the motion. Over the past year, working alongside Council President Cole has been truly an honor. I've been impressed with what she's been able to do with the Council Presidency for many of the reasons that Councilmember Bree has articulated, particularly your focus and commitment to affordable housing opportunities and homelessness. Working on the Select Committee of Homelessness was a big lift for this council, and your dedication to focus 2 of our working meetings this year, focused solely on a Housing Action Day and also focused on homelessness. I know your stated commitment to also have another working action day for this full council next year on homelessness, I think keeps our priorities in mind. You've distinguished yourself and your style, and you've ensured that this council is a strong council. And we've been working productively, of course, with the mayor and the city attorney, our independent budget analyst, and others to move initiatives forward, but you've also been vocal and been able to speak out when the interests of council have not been best served, and more importantly, when our constituents have not been best served. And I want to thank you for standing up for all San Diegans. So I'm happy to second your nomination, and I look forward to continuing to work with you and your leadership to move the business of the city forward.
Thank you. Councilmember Sherman.
Yeah, thank you, and thank everybody who came out and spoke on your behalf. You put out a memo a few days ago with listing your intentions of keeping the committee chairs intact and listed all the different chairmanships and where you wanted to be, and that's a very important part of what the council president does. Can you say on the record today that it's your intention to stick with your written word and keep those committee assignments where they are?
We're going to discuss that after council, this vote here, because that doesn't go on to committee.
Why do we need to discuss after if you've already put it in your written word?
Well, because the committee assignments are not until next Thursday? No, next Wednesday.
Right,
So
but
that's
if we're
when
going to
we'll
get some assurance
report
on
it.
who we're voting for and what we're voting for, shouldn't it be a little bit of saying, okay, yeah, my written word is good?
The committee assignments are not noticed for today's hearing.
Okay, well, that tells me enough then. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilmember Bree, that's seconded by Councilmember Ward. Please vote. Clerk, please call the roll.
And that passes 8-1 with Councilmember Sherman voting no.
Before you leave, I just have to say, I want to thank everyone for coming down and staying throughout this whole thing. I know you came at 2 o'clock. I know UDW wanted to leave. Thank you for staying. Labor Council, all my union brothers and sisters, we're going to do more for working families, so thank you. And all my colleagues, I want to just move the city forward with a homelessness issue, with housing, affordable housing. Just like I said, we have to continue this. And homelessness is truly an issue that we have to continue to struggle, fight, and build housing for homelessness. And for people that are almost there, we have to start building, and that's my commitment, is to start building units so we can house people. Just like New York, when I went to New York, I asked the speaker, well, where's your homeless? She says, well, we house them. That's what we have to do for our homeless. So we have a very busy year ahead of us, and I thank you all for your confidence for me to serve as your council president. Thank you all.